Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Going to Michigan State, everybody. Going to Michigan State. Ooh, yeah. Sorry, I was a little Motown mood for today.
Wow, that's kind of a shock. I was just saying.
Michigan, you need a little Motown in there. Going to Michigan State, everybody. Don't you want to go? Plenty of seats available. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there are plenty of seats available at 2 and 6 over there. So, but I think, we cannot overlook this game. So Pro Football Focus has Michigan State at 89. We're at like around 50. From a stats perspective, it looks like we have a chance to kind of overwhelm these guys. They do have a good running back who carries it around 4 yards a carry. But we have the best run defense, or one of the best run defenses in the nation. 13th overall total defense. They're 53rd. And the line is weird, Bob. We're favored by 3. The over-under is 34. I guess the weather's not going to be the best, right? What are they saying on the weather? What's the forecast?
Cold and gray.
Cold and gray.
Pretty much the forecast. That's pretty much the forecast for the entire Midwest for the next 3 months. Cold and gray.
So Vegas is thinking that it's going to be a bit of a slugfest, and I think these guys could be dangerous because they're desperate, right? They're 2 and 6. Lost 6 in a row. They won their first 2 games. They lost 6 in a row. And their coach got fired under a scandal.
And they play Ohio State next week.
Correct. And the stats, you can just tell by looking at, you can see it, the colors. I'm feeling bullish, though, Bob. Feeling bullish. All we got to do is not lay the ball on the ground. And I got to think that they are very focused on that this week. And I think Matt does a really nice job of focusing on the team on the job at hand, which is we'll go 1-0 this week.
Okay,
right?
So
taking all the noise out.
On SeatGeek, tickets are available for Michigan State versus Ohio State from $73 a ticket. Tickets the following week to against Indiana are $7 a ticket. Tickets for Nebraska this Saturday, $3 a ticket.
Wow.
Wow. There are literally thousands and thousands of seats available for this game. It will be fun watching it in the basement where it's nice and warm. And it's just crazy how many seats there are. It is just nuts. You can get row 28 for $47 each. That's crazy. That is just crazy.
Your basement is ready for games?
No, not completely. Your basement's ready, though. We had good luck in that basement. Oh.
Yeah. And it's 11 o'clock game, so plan accordingly on Saturday.
Yes, we will wake up early. Listen, I'm with you. I'm optimistic. I think that the over-under is just dumb. If you take the average number of points that each team scores per year, it comes up to 39. I don't think it's going to be that much of a slugfest. I think that it's going to be a little more high scoring than we anticipated, assuming Harburg is going to play this game.
Oh, he's playing. You haven't heard that.
He got beat up pretty good last week, so, assuming he's at reasonably full health, because he got waxed by that guy, the 260-pound linebacker guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You didn't see him coming. He went down hard. So, it's like, listen, you got to feel bad for Michigan State. Well, you don't have to, but I do. They start out 2-0, start out House of Fire, boom, coach gets fired. They've lost every game since, which leads me to believe the fact that they ain't coming back from this. They might not win another game the rest of the season, with the possible exception of Indiana, or maybe they rally in their last game. So I think they are, they're pretty down, and it's hard to come back from that. So I think that Nebraska is on the upswing, and they smell blood in the water. I don't think they're hard to say. I mean, again, we're not in a room. We don't know.
Yeah.
This team seems to understand that there's opportunity, and they're taking it.
There's another stats guy that Husker Max publishes, or a guy who basically does his own rankings, and he puts Sandgren and all the rest of them in there. And he did something really interesting. If he dropped off the first 2 games and then ranked Nebraska in his sort of algorithm, and if he does that and eliminates the first 2 games, Nebraska rises to 20th. Just think about, I mean, if we had like a mediocre offense, how good this team could be.
Would have saved people from trying to attack you at Minneapolis. So, if we had a big offense to finish off that game, we wouldn't have had to walk out looking around like something bad's going to happen here. But of course, Minnesota certainly was really nice. So the mean fans are right. And you know what? I hope those guys have a perfect sit-down line of vision to the field, because nobody's going to be standing up for Minnesota. Get out of this stadium.
You're still chirping about Minnesota. Holy God.
Salty. You know what it is? It's like, listen, I'll say this about Nebraska fans. I've been to some games where there have been some questionable activities going on after the game between language and fisticuffs. But for the most part, people take it with a degree, both winning and losing, with a degree of grace and humility that I don't see at a lot of other schools. Like, you go to a USC game, and frankly, the audience is a bunch of pricks. And it's like, it's no fun to go to the game. They expect to win all the time, and when they don't, they just crap all over you. And when they do, they're like, yeah, your team sucks. It's like, Nebraska people are a little bit nicer than that.
Well, it's just everyone's civil, and everyone's there to have fun. And
not everyone, but the vast majority.
Osborne talked about, we've been losing records for 6 years in a row.
Yep.
Most stadiums would be, just like Michigan State, would be 40% empty,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And I mean, look at Northwestern a couple weeks ago. There was just nobody in the stands.
Yep.
And so it is a remarkable thing and I think it's so attributable to the duration of the Osborne era and the generation of people that he impacted with that amazing record, 255, 43, and 6.
People in Nebraska are just a little bit nicer than.
Yeah, I would agree.
By the way, the weather on Saturday is supposed to be actually kind of nice. High of 52.
Here?
No, in here, no. In Lansing. So.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
I think it's going to open up. I think it's going to open up. I'm feeling very optimistic. I'm the one who's like, don't get over your ski tips. Here's what I want to say to every bowl organizer in America. Nebraska fans haven't been to a bowl game in 6 years. This is going on 7.
Everyone's coming.
So everyone's coming. I don't care if you're the Tuxedo Bowl or if you're the Bowlmore Bowl or whatever bowl comes. You could have the IRS "we're going to audit you" bowl, and it would still be full of Nebraska fans, because Nebraska fans are desperate for a December vacation, which they haven't taken in 7 years. So they're desperate. Just remember that when you're putting out your bowl invites. And after this week, there'll be bowl invites. And if Nebraska doesn't win, I will come on and I will try humble pie. But I'm not crying any humble pie. It's time to get optimistic.
There's all sorts of possibilities. And what we learned last week is that this team does not panic when something goes bad.
Yep.
And that is a testament to the coach and the process. They talk about process all the time. I learned something this week in the Monday press conference, and the writers didn't even know what he was talking about. So he's talking about, like, when the guys go over the goal line and they put the 5th point on they grab their arm like this. That's the 5th point of holding the ball snug, right? And apparently one of the pros, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or somebody in the pros was doing it, and all the young guys on the team do that. They come across, they put that 5th, just to make sure that the ball is secure. He cited that as an example. That's our process. That's what we do. And that's why you see Heinrich up here running like this, and then he goes like this, right? So
run, Heinrich, run. He's listen, Forrest Gump made a lot of touchdowns for Alabama.
Yeah.
So Heinrich has scored touchdowns for Nebraska. I'm optimistic.
Yeah. So, and look, and I've been also listening to Tony White more And, he's always talking about dominant contact and the process. And the other thing I liked about the pressers that I saw this week is that apparently the defensive guys came in on Sunday and, they were kind of honest with themselves and say, you know what, that really wasn't quite as good as we thought it was in terms of like when you really evaluate the plays and you look at what might have happened because some of our guys were out of position.
Yep.
So they are literally following a process and they're learning and coaching each week. And you can just tell that, Rule's a leader and he's got these kids focused and doing the right thing. From this, it's gonna, and he also came out this week and said, look, Nebraska is ahead of where Baylor and Temple were at this time.
No kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the crazy thing. I was looking through the depth chart for the game. How many seniors are on the top of the depth chart for both offense and defense together?
You texted that to me. It's like three,
on
right?
the team. It's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Newsom at cornerback, Sanford at safety, and Luke Reimer. That's it. So if you think this team is good this year, it's going to be tougher next year.
He keeps talking about a bunch of players that have redshirted that are looking really, really good as well. That was cool. What else in the press conference? They asked him about has he moved into his new office, and he was just kind of scoffing. He's like, "That's the last thing I care about." I'm completely fine with my old office. They were kind of pressing him on what about the new facilities is amazing. And what he said was, which was an answer I really liked. He said, "We have the best athlete recovery program in existence." And he talked about all the different modalities of recovery that they've got there to take care of the players. I talked to a recruit's mom, who went down there, I won't say the name, from Minnesota, and the kid was incredibly impressed. And he was one of, I think, 4 players that got to go to the coach's office out of the 100 that were there that weekend. And he said, facilities, fan, experience. And this particular family has another son that's already playing in Cal. And he says, you wouldn't believe the difference. I mean, it's night and day.
She said, too bad Nebraska's out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, come on, don't give me that. Keeps you out of trouble.
That's driving distance, though, from Minnesota. So I think it's going to be 35-7. I think we're going to just run the ball down the field. I think Emmett Johnson is going to have a breakout game. I think Heinrich's going to have a breakout game. I think they're going to run the ball. But then they're also going to do that belly option because it's been working. They get the wind in their right direction. And the wide receivers are going to, Malachi is going to score another one.
That's bold, Das. That's bold.
Yeah.
35-7.
And I'm saying 35-7, and I'm taking the over.
What?
I'm taking the over. I think they're actually going to hang on to the football this week. And I think, Michigan State's going to want to play, but they're just it's just a lot wrong up there right now. Now, I will say this. Rule really played it right, just in talking about them. He knows a lot of the coaches. Mark D'Antonio is back. So they're certainly going to make an effort. But I just feel like this team, with the resign, we won 31-14 last week with 4 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
So you clean up 4 turnovers, you got a pretty good team, and we got that deep threat now, and I think we know how to use that. And we got a couple of slant patterns that are good. They'll bring out, but bottom line is they're going to run the ball and they're going to stay in control of it. They're going to win the time of possession.
I have a prop bet for you.
Okay.
Are you going so the first play from scrimmage for the Nebraska offense, are they going to run or are they going to pass?
They'll run the ball.
I think they're going to pass. They did it the last 2 games in a row. First play is a pass. I couldn't believe they did it last week. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're passing on the first play? And they did it anyway. So I think I'm going to go with the trend. But they won the last 2 games, and they passed on the first play both games. So I'm going to say they're going to pass on the first play. And the loser owes the winner 20 push-ups. If they pass on the first play, you got to do 20 push-ups. If they run on the first play, I got to do 20 push-ups. All in a row. None of this 5 at a time.
Can you do 20 push-ups, UB?
Oh, please. Do I have to get off my knees? If I do it on my knees, I can do like 40. I can do 20 push-ups, please. Same outfit. I'm going to do it in this outfit and wear it next week.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So what's your score? What's the score of the game?
I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's 28-14. So 42 points, so it's over, but I don't see Michigan State hanging in this game. Possible. It's entirely possible. You never know what's going to happen. But I am getting... Listen, I was optimistic to start the season and tempered it a little bit after the first two games. I'm like, all right, there was a reason I was optimistic after this season, before the season, excuse me. So I'm thinking good things for the mighty, mighty Big Red. They're bringing home the bacon. And remember, you heard it here first, a winning record this season.
Yeah, I think it happens this week. I really do. And then let's spend a minute just thinking about what comes next, right?
Let's save that for the midweek when we see what happens. Once we see what happens, we can enter the prognostication phase of our lives. Because believe me, we gotta buy a plane ticket somewhere. So I just want to know where we're going.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I want it to be Florida, man. Look at Florida, golf,
Yeah,
something.
Tampa, Boca Raton, Orlando, ding, ding, ding. Although I did, at the beginning of the season, I think I predicted the Holiday Bowl. So that would be another ding. San Diego works just fine.
San Diego would be fine. Arizona would be fine. Even Texas.
Don't give me freaking Detroit. We're not going to Detroit for a game.
The Music City Bowl.
Whatever it is. I think Music City Bowl is Nashville. And
that could be okay.
And Detroit is it's Detroit Bowl. It's like, congratulations for qualifying bowl.
So look at Bob Pretty said no prognostication, and then we just talked about 5 different bowls.
Those are different bowl sites. No indication of whether we're going or not. But let's talk about that come midweek.
All right, so that's it. 35-7 on my side with the over. Bob's 28-14 with the over as well. We are thinking we're going to have a pretty good week. I love what I'm seeing in Lincoln. I think Matt Rule is the guy, and I'm really impressed with Tony White. And I think for Satterfield, if he didn't have so many injuries, would be in a better spot too. But these guys, it doesn't seem to faze this team. They seem completely fearless and can go out there and get it done. So eager to see it. So take us out, Bob.
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!